So today we're having a quick look at component shortages. So you may well have read about this. It has been covered in a lot of the national media and international media. It's a major sort of issue at the moment in a lot of industries, anything to do with electronics. So some of the most notable companies that have been affected: Jaguar Land Rover, Ford, Tesla, they've all reported issues and had to delay production in certain circumstances. As with a lot of things, obviously in the last year or two, it's been affected heavily with the COVID-19 pandemic. So as the world was locking down in sort of early 2020, there was a major market shift away from sort of industrial and those types of applications towards consumer electronics. Obviously more and more people working from home, so demand for laptops, tablets, etc. increasing, whilst simultaneously a lot of production lines were being closed because of they weren't safe to work on with the lockdown conditions, or the demand had dropped completely from them. So if you're sort of looking at the demand overall, it's a bit of an approximation this, but that's what happened to demand. So demand was running as you would expect, and then as these changes came in, demand dropped significantly. Supply then obviously was reduced as a reflection of the drop in demand. But then what happened is, as things opened up, demand came back a lot stronger than was perhaps anticipated, and it's left us with this shortage here, whereby demand is exceeding supply. A further factor that's been highlighted by several outlets, BBC being one, is the fact that there's climate change, and there's been a major drought in Taiwan, which produces about 90% of microchips. And that has had a major impact. Water is a huge part of the manufacturing process for microchips, so the drought has caused a lot of delays there. Big question: when will it end? Nobody's 100% certain, but what we do know is there's been a huge amount of investment in obviously resolving this. There's been this absolutely colossal demand across a number of industries to resolve this. The best sort of forecast that we've been receiving is that more or less by the end of this year, 2021, things should be relatively back to normal, and potentially even, we're hoping that we end up with a better situation because there's been so much investment in it. So what can you do? Well, it's a difficult one. The only thing that we can really say is that if you are looking at buying one of our products, or you've got a project, or you're an existing customer, the best thing that you can do is just give us as much notice as you possibly can in order to enable us to get orders in with our suppliers and make sure that we've got things in. We've got as much time as possible to get things in. We do appreciate that's difficult, and you can't always do that, but if you are in that situation, we're happy to talk about it. You can give us a ring, we can talk about it, we can look at things, and in some cases, for example, we've done things where we may not be able to get one component, but there's another one that will do the job. We may have to just rework the board or rework the design ever so slightly, but it's there are ways around a lot of it, but your best bet is always just to get in touch and talk to us about it, and we can advise from there.